You know, they executed, they pitched, and the Mets lineup is hurting right now. No Soto, that really weakens their lineup. But at the same time, that is a big league lineup with a lot of talent still, and they just executed their pitches. They went after them. There was very little pitching around. There wasn't any walks. Not many high counts either. Not many high ball counts either. So they were just attacking, and executing. And the pitching staff as a whole, but the starting pitching was sensational. It was great to see Robo go 8 innings, shut piece there, no runs. And then, you know, we have Yamamoto and Shohei do their thing. But it was great to see Robo get it all started in the first game of the season.
And listen, we know that the Mets have been struggling, but you don't want to be responsible for getting a team hot. So the Dodgers did their part, started with Robo. He pounded the strike zone, pitched to soft contact. Obviously, Yamamoto did his thing. He was dominant in the big show. Just love the way he's pitching. He's not a thrower. Yeah. Unique pitches throughout his start. Fun to see.
Well, and the Dodgers staff as a whole only gave up 3 runs total in that series against the Mets. So it wasn't just the starting pitchers, Jerry. Dodgers bullpen also excellent over the course of those 3 games.
Well, when you get starts like that, it allows the manager, for Dave Roberts, to kind of set up his pitchers coming out of the bullpen. They know their roles. So when you have a guy like Alex Vestia understanding, I'm going to pitch deep in the ballgame. Blake Trinan, same thing. It allows him to set up the guys coming out of the bullpen, and they come in out of that bullpen pumping strikes, attacking the strike zone, pitching with conviction. When those dogs are doing that, they are tough to beat. It's just a great combination from our starting pitching, going to the bullpen, and they continue to set the tone.
Yeah, when the bullpen only has to cover 5 1/3 in 3 games, like you said, Jerry, Doc has the luxury of playing the matchups, and everybody's available. You can go at the Mets, you see who's coming up, you pick the perfect person for those guys, and a manager's job is to put his players in the position to succeed. Those starting pitchers are allowing the relievers to be in a position to succeed, which Doc is doing. And, you know, as a whole, the staff is incredible. They're all doing a great job.
Look at that stat line right there. 5 1/3, yep. 0 walks.
Right.
You do that, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
And the Dodgers coming off that sweep at home over the Mets, of course, pitching at Coors Field is a whole different animal. It's a place that can cause some sleepless nights for pitchers, but the Dodgers look to keep things rolling this first of a 4-game series. Kirsten Watson is with the Dodgers in a very chilly, it was snowy earlier, Denver, Colorado, joining us live from Coors Field. She is all bundled up. Hi there, Kirsten.
Hi, John. Well, you know what's funny? Obviously, whenever we come here, you think about the game. And yes, anything can happen when it comes to the game here due to the altitude, how big that outfield is. There are so many layers to it. But then you have the weather. There's been a time where we've been here and there was a hailstorm. Today, on the weather report, it said there was going to be some snow. It started snowing at about 11 o'clock this morning. Was snowing for probably about 4 to 5 hours. It has been so much snow. It was so beautiful. It was like a winter wonderland at first. The guys were out here having a snowball fight. A few of them were making snowmen. But now it is time to get to baseball. Dave Roberts, so he talked about the weather in this one and how it might prove to be a challenge here tonight.
I do. I think, you know, today the snow is, as I understand it, has stopped. It's still really cold out there. So I think, you know, as far as the cold, the temperature, the vastness of the outfield, it shouldn't be wet. The field should kind of respond to kind of the heating that we have beneath the field, that they have beneath the field. So that's good. I think at the end of the day, you know, hitters typically don't want to hit in cold weather. And so it's usually an advantage for the pitcher. And so I think for me, it's, you know, obviously what pitchers make the best pitches, but also what hitters can be in the best mindset to kind of overcome the cold, because it's going to be uncomfortable. Your hands are going to hurt. You know, on the offensive side, the defensive side, just kind of trying to stay warm and keep your legs loose.
Is that then when you really lean into kind of the quality of each at-bat and making sure your pitch selection, things of the sorts are really aligned?
Yeah, this is going to be like a game of chicken or something, you know. It's just kind of, again, this is a mindset game for me. It's you know, they got back late, you know, winning a game in Houston, and, you know, we got in, and, you know, no one likes playing in this type of weather. So it's more of just testing your soul a little bit.
This game tonight is truly going to be one that is mind over matter, and it's going to be on both sides of the ball. For the pitching side with Tyler Glasnow, we know that in the past it's something with these type of elements haven't necessarily been his favorite, but how he's been playing, just the mindset that he's in, is in a totally different place today. So they are expecting him to really have command of this stuff and hoping for him to have a positive outing tonight. When it comes to the offense, like Dave Roberts said, it really is just about that pitch selection, having quality at bats, because regardless, it's going to hurt. It is very cold out here. From talking to some of the guys, they have said maybe it's not too bad, but it's only getting colder as the night is going on. They have been able to remove most of the snow, and actually here at Coors Field, the ground is essentially heated. There's a heating system underneath the turf that allows for essentially just not necessarily the ice to melt or to keep things warm, but whether it's draining or just keeping things at a temperature where it's not going to be sloshy and super wet on the grass. So the field is in a pretty good condition, all things considering, and considering how much snow was here, but it's cooler and it's going to prove to be a little bit of a challenge in this one tonight, guys.
And certainly scenic with those snow-covered trees there in the background. I know it's going to be cold. It's actually lovely here, though, in studio, Kirsten, not to rub it in.
Aren't you lucky?
All right, we'll check back in with you in just a few minutes. Right now, let's get our first look at Dave Roberts' lineup to go up against Rockies right-hander Tomoyuki Sugano. Shohei's back in the DH spot after not pulling double duty on Wednesday. Then it's Kyle Tucker, Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez in left field, Max Muncy's at third, Andy Pages starting in center, Haesung Kim is at short, and Alex Freeland playing second base. He will bat ninth behind Tyler Glasnow. Adrian, what sticks out to you?
Just look, the continuity of the lineup. I saw this lineup a couple times against the Mets. They did great. Just continue. Guys know their role in these slots. So for me, this is a great lineup.
I'm looking at the guy that's highlighted. He was benched from hitting last game. I think he's going to take that out on the Rock Show this series starting tonight. I think he's poised to have a big series.
Yeah, speaking of that guy who was benched, Shohei did get the night off from DHing on Wednesday. It's because he was hit by a pitch near his shoulder earlier in the week, Jerry, but he is back in there tonight and looking to extend a 48-game on-base streak.
Certainly, I kid. Listen, it's all about making sure that he is healthy, and you're right, John. He was hit there in that right shoulder, so you got to make sure he's okay. 48-game on-base streak. It is so impressive. Just past Japanese superstar Ichiro Suzuki. Good to see. Hopefully he continues with that streak because we know he is dynamic with the bat, also dynamic with his legs. But when he goes, usually this lineup goes as well. He's the ultimate catalyst.
He's a great guy in the leadoff spot. You saw his numbers there, or his hitting streak at Coors Field. He loves hitting at Coors Field, and he loves hitting off of this pitcher that the Rockies are throwing at him. So two great things for him to put us on the board early and, just have another great day and extend that on-base streak to 49 games.
All right, we'll see if they can get it done today in Colorado. The grounds crew at Dodger Stadium, they are second to none. But this crew in Colorado, they've been putting in work. They are well on their way to clearing the field for first pitch, which is coming up right here at 5:30. Plus, Kyle Tucker capped off Wednesday night's sweep over the Mets with his second home run of the season. Has King Tuck turned the corner after a bit of a slow start to his 2026 season? Dodgers and Rockies coming up. You see the glimpse of the Rocky Mountains in the distance. Boy, the folks in Vail and Aspen and Steamboat all happy today. Not ideal weather for baseball, but we will have Dodgers and the Rockies coming up at 5:30. Kyle Tucker's first season in L.A. has gotten off to a bit of a slow start. The $240 million man's numbers down from last season's through the first 18 games. His average nearly 30 points lower. The OPS is at 693. That's down from 841. Strikeout percentage and chase rate both trending in the wrong direction compared to last year. Now, Tucker had that game-winning hit against the Mets on Tuesday. Then he hit his second home run of the season on Wednesday. He has admitted it's been a bit frustrating start to the season, often fouling pitches off that he can do damage with, Adrian, but maybe some signs over the last couple of games that he has and is turning the corner.
Yeah, he's shown some really good signs. This game-winning RBI knock right here to me was a great at-bat. I know many people will look at this and be like, oh, it's a blue hit. Well, that was a great piece of hitting. He stayed inside of baseball. He didn't try to do too much. Opportunity with a runner in scoring position. All you need is a knock. That swing for the home run right there was great. He just needs to get going. Usually when a player signs with a new team, they add pressure to themselves, and then their swing gets a little long, their approach, sometimes they get a little antsy trying to do too much. It just takes a week or two, usually for them to kind of back off, and then the season starts for them. So for me, right now he's perfectly fine. You know, he went through probably a stretch where he tried to do too much, and right now he's starting to relax already. The season's starting to get going. His swing's going to start to get going as well.
And it's natural to want to do well, especially impress your new team, even though we all know that he's a great player. But you got to remember, 18 games. 18 games is nothing. That's really a first inning of a long season, 9 innings of the season. It's the first inning for him. He understands that, and he can have a week where he catches fire, and all of a sudden he's hitting 350. But guess what? He's got another season to go because it is a long season. This guy's a pro. He's a great baseball player, does a lot of things extremely well, defensively and offensively. I think it's going to be just fine.
And even the at-bat right before the home run on Wednesday hit at 107 miles an hour. It's just a line out right to the right fielder. So maybe good things are starting to happen. But this is the second straight year Kyle Tucker has had to get acclimated to a new team. You've got new voices, a new home. And, Jerry, you mentioned it. It's only 18 games. So in your mind, because both of you guys have had to do this in your career, how long does it take before you truly feel comfortable with those new surroundings?
Well, I think everybody is different. Now, he's more of a guy that's kind of laid back and more reserved. For me, was just the norm for him, for me. But for him, he's a guy, he'll settle in. And as far as understanding when is a slow start, when are you getting your season, I always thought an everyday player, it's around 175 to 225 at-bats. When he's around that area, that's the start of the season. He's got a whole lot of at-bats to go. So he understands I don't have to be a leader of this ball club. I can kind of just sit here, do my thing, and understand that I don't have to be relied upon. That doesn't mean he doesn't want to do well, but he doesn't have to be a voice in that clubhouse. So the pressure is a little bit off on him, and he can rely and lean on guys like Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani.
For me, one of the things that changed a little bit with my mentality and the way I approach things, when I was with the Padres, I was the guy in the middle of the lineup. And when the team didn't want to pitch to you, they didn't pitch to me. And then when I went to Boston, now I was a guy in the middle of a lineup with a lot of superstars, with Big Papi and all these guys. And now they're all pitching to me. So one of the things that Kyle Tucker needs to adjust to as well is that last year with the Cubs, he might have been the guy that they didn't want to pitch to. Yeah. And so you're a little more patient already mentally. You're going into an at-bat knowing they're probably not going to pitch to me here. Now he's hitting behind Shohei, who they're intentionally walking to get to him. So the mentality changes a little bit to, I might need to be more aggressive. And that could take him out of. So all those little factors have a big play into the start of the season. He just needs the at-bats to understand the role and everything, and he'll be just fine.
That is a great point, because before with Gonzo, I played with him. He was our superstar when we were teammates. And he goes, well, we know he's not going to get pitched to. Guess what? He gets walked to. But when you have Big Papi hitting behind you or in front of you, there's no way they're going to pitch me first pitch fastball right down the middle. You're like, what? That's a shock.
It is.
That's a shock.
It is.
And he's been fouling those off. That's why he's been so frustrated.
Yes.
He's talking about getting a lot of really good pitches to hit. All right, still a long way to go in the season. Tyler Glasnow is going to be pitching at Coors Field tonight for the first time in his career, and he's getting quite the welcome to Denver with the snowy conditions earlier and some bitter cold conditions for this game later this evening. Right now, let's head back to Colorado. Kirsten joins us again live with more on Glasnow. Hi, Kirsten.
Hi, John. Yeah, tonight's definitely going to prove to be a challenge, whether it's just here at Coors Field, the altitude, and then you add the coldness, the snow earlier, the temperature is consistently dropping as the night's going to go on. But if you look at where Tyler Glasnow is at this year, he's in a totally different place than he was last year. If we go back to the start early in the season last year in Philadelphia, there was a lot of rain. He just couldn't really get his footing. The stuff wasn't playing like he wanted it to. But Dave Roberts was asked, one, if today is going to prove to be another test essentially for Tyler, showing as to where he is right now and just what it's going to be when it comes to his mindset and how he's in a totally different place. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, it is. And I'll say, I like to say that every day is a test. But as far as to that question, the circumstance, the conditions, it's going to be cold. And I think for Tyler, the challenge is the feel of the baseball, so I think that's something that the pitchers have got to be able to feel the baseball, and so whatever way they can kind of get that texture and that feel, that's going to be important.
How have you seen Tyler grow since that day in Philly?
Big time. He's a different person for me. That day in Philly where we had a big lead or had a lead and, couldn't get out of it with the sweating, the cramping and things like that. Some of the things that were out of his control, but I do think that some of the things that he can control, he's really manning right now and got a handle on. And you know, we've seen him for 3 starts, and I think he's been really good, and the stat line could have been significantly better. But I think even for me, the days in between his starts and even in spring training, and it bleeds back into last year, I think he's grown exponentially. So I don't see that these conditions are going to affect him today.
On the back end of the season last year, Tyler Glasnow made a mechanical change that he said has proven to be the difference maker. So coming into today, he feels confident. He's in a totally different spot, and he does expect to be having good results on the mound this evening, guys.
All right, Kirsten, thank you very much. Stay warm until we see you again. The tarp is coming off the field. The snow has moved on. We will be having baseball from a chilly Coors Field coming up in about 40 minutes. Plus, Andy Pages off to a scorching hot start in 2026, leading all of baseball in hits, batting average, RBIs, now heading into a 4-game series at the notoriously hitter-friendly ballpark. OPS almost 1150, leads the majors in hits with 27, has 5 bombs, and he's tied for the lead in RBIs with 20. And we were talking earlier about Kyle Tucker's numbers through 18 games and how he's down from where he was last year. Andy Pye has the opposite end of the spectrum. He was hitting 175 through 18 games last year. Jerry, we know about his struggles in the postseason, so it's great to see him shooting out of the gates like this year.
I love the fact that he understood last year that, yeah, it may have been a little bit that he was kind of fatigued. Playing in the big leagues is a grind, especially for young guys like him. But for him to kind of make the adjustments, especially his 2-strike approach, and he has hit the ground running this season. This guy is a difference maker with the bat. This is who he is. Now, is he going to hit 409? No, he's not. But I think he could be a 300, 320 hitter.
I just love when a young player starts off to a great start in the season because it just gives him confidence. And it puts him in a position where, like, he has a little bit of a struggle, 1 week, 2 weeks, it's okay. Then he looks up at the scoreboard when he comes up to the plate and he still sees good numbers. Those kind of things for young players are so important. Like you said, Jerry, he's not going to hit 409. But when he does get into a little bit of a funk now or a little slump, it's not going to be so bad. He's not going to panic. Yeah. And the thing that young kids sometimes tend to do when they have a little bit of slump is they start panicking because they start looking over their shoulder to see if they're going to be in the lineup tomorrow. So he doesn't have to worry about any of that. That's the thing I love about this. I love the start he's been off to. I love the adjustments. I love what he's been doing at the plate, going the other way, catching those off-speed pitches out in front for home runs. Everything he's been doing is great. Stay there, repeat, and stay with your discipline and approach.
And, oh, by the way, he's becoming a great center fielder, too, defensively.
And compare that to where he was last year when he was hitting 175, struggling offensively. He was struggling defensively as well. He was close to being optioned back down to AAA, but his big brother, Teoscar Hernandez, really helped him through that time. And Teoscar, he's off to a good start as well, Adrian. 350 with 4 home runs, 11 RBIs here in the first half month of April. And you look at Wednesday night, at the time, this was a big home run he hit against the Mets.
Yes, it was. It was a great swing, too. Just, you know, he's a guy that when he's healthy, we know what he's capable of. He's always put up great at-bats. He's a great run producer. He kills lefties, does a great job against lefties. So for me, he is that big brother to Andy Pages, and he himself is a superstar in the big leagues.
It is so hard to find run producers in the big leagues, guys that know how to hit when there's a runner on second base, runner on third base, less than 2 outs. This guy is one of the best in the business. And obviously now he's healthy. This guy was off to a great start last year, then he got injured, and he really wasn't the same. Now he's completely healthy. He's got that 8-pack, feeling really good about himself in the batter's box, especially in the Dodger uniform, and we're reaping the benefits.
And he's one of many Dodgers who loves to swing the bat there at Coors Field. He's had